Hey, what's going on, indie game fans? Welcome back to I Dream of Indie. My name's Ole Gamer Joe. Today we are reviewing Godstrike on the Steam PC platform. This one's going to be available as of April 15th of 2021, and it's a bullet hell action roguelike shooter, and I do have to say, this game totally kicked my ass. Upon booting up Godstrike, you have a few different gameplay options. You can choose the arena mode, which allows you to take on all the bosses at your own free will with a lot of the abilities unlocked. The story mode, which is the meat of the game and tells the tale of Godstrike. There are also daily challenges that you can participate in, as well as a challenge mode, and the game does feature leaderboards. Godstrike's storyline begins before the world as we currently know it even existed. There were no seas, there were no mountains, but there was a powerful being that brought life to this world. This being was so powerful, in fact, that its powers needed to be divided into 7 different masks. These masks then began to seek vessels that could withstand their powers, and all but one were successful in doing so. The 6 vessels sadly pull a classic heel turn and become corrupted by pure greed and the lust for more, taking it out on the people of this world. This sets off a massive war with the various tribes that inhabit this world coming together to stop these evil forces once and for all, and while one of these all-powerful beings is sealed away successfully, sadly the world begins to plunge into darkness. From here the tribes must come together once again, but they aren't really successful. Centuries go by, and of course one hero rises to the occasion to stop these evildoers once and for all. It's a little bit heavy-handed, but it gets the job done. Gameplay in Godstrike is pretty standard as far as twin-stick bullet hell shooters go, and it's more or less a series of boss encounters, extremely difficult boss encounters. You glide around the screen, learning the insane patterns that the 10 or so different bosses will throw your way, and you try to blast away at them with the right stick. What sets Godstrike apart, though, is its unique time mechanic. Rather than having a health bar, whenever you take damage in the game, you lose time. You also have lots of different skills that are either earned in the story mode or immediately accessible in the arena mode. This makes the arena a good place to practice up against these bosses, as you can select which one you want to fight, and you also can equip these skills right out of the gate without having to earn them. The downside to these skills, though, is that some of them come with a cost, and that cost is less time. You can equip up to 4 of these skills at once, so there's a little bit of a strategy involved here. You can have them on the left trigger, the left bumper, the right trigger, and the right bumper respectively, but again, it will cost you quite a bit of time, and you'll also need soul points to activate these skills. These soul points are strewn about the map as you battle the different bosses, and you have to collect them. Thankfully, though, there are also some perks that can be equipped, and these don't really come with any cost whatsoever. You again have 4 different slots that you can equip them to, and they have some nice perks, including the ability to have orbs rotating around you so that they'll absorb some of the projectiles that come your way. Well, you know it's going to be a tough review when the tutorial boss beats you multiple times. Maybe this game wasn't going to be for me, I thought to myself, but I did eventually topple the fool. I got into a rhythm with this one, but boy, is it a very, very tough game. You have bullets flying everywhere. Thankfully, the game will toss you a bone if you die enough, and it unlocks an easy mode, but what's the pride in that, right? Most fans of this genre like the challenge, and there's plenty of it here. Each boss also comes with multiple forms, and the amount of those forms is indicated at the bottom left corner of the screen. You might think you've toppled a foe, but sadly they have a 3rd or even a 4th form, and they get brutally more difficult. The whole making a game extremely difficult thing isn't exactly my cup of tea anymore, but I know that there are a lot of fans of challenge out there. It is a bullet hell game to the extreme. In terms of graphics and performance, Godstrike ran at a constant 60 FPS even on our Nitro 5 laptop, which was great to see, and while the visual presentation is fairly simplistic, I found it to be pleasing. Each boss has a unique design, and while the backdrops these encounters take place on are perhaps a bit uninspired, I did overall think the game looked just fine. The bullets that enemies toss your way almost reminded me of the ones I had seen in the Nier series over the years, but honestly, this is not a graphical powerhouse. It almost has a bit of a Shadow of the Colossus vibe in its art aesthetic, but I dug it enough. I also have to say that the game sounds pretty good. There's not one standout composition for me really, but these are well orchestrated songs and they're implemented into the game quite well. I liked how a track would get a bit more bombastic as you fought through the different forms of a boss, and the whizzing bullets sound satisfying. It's a nice overall presentation that doesn't rewrite the book, but feels safe, if not just a bit too safe. Overall, I was into it though. As I mentioned, difficult games are not my favorite at my current age, but Godstrike still got its hooks into me at least for a while. I think the whole time health mechanic is a neat idea, and I did find those moments where I was out of time, down to being able to withstand just a single bullet, to be quite intense. Leaderboards should also keep players busy, accompanied by daily challenges, so overall, if you love bullet hell boss rush games, Godstrike delivers all the savage challenges and visceral gameplay fans of the genre appreciate. What do you think, indie game fans? Will you be checking out Godstrike? Let us know in the comments section below. We'd now like to take a moment to thank our great indie warriors who support us through channel memberships: Mitchell Hall, Kevalo, Bunny, Bill Tcaz, Christian Cruz, Drick9, Rosie Syntax, Chris Jackson, Nathan Moore, Peach, Adriana Amato, CJR, and Jesse. Thank you for all you do for indie games, indie developers, and this channel. Everybody else, head down to the description box below where there are a ton of ways to support us. Help us bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming.